911, what's your emergency? 911, what's your emergency?
Be advised, Car 4 has control of the pursuit. Proceed with caution.
Hey, everybody. How are you guys? It has been a minute. I have absolutely missed you guys so much. I've been on Frank's channel and I was on Marv's channel, and it seems like I was looking back and I hadn't done a live stream in a while. So I was feeling bad about that. And yeah, hang on a second. There's just been a lot going on, not only in Delphi, but in my life. So I've just been super busy, guys. And I'll talk about that a little bit, but I do have a special guest with me tonight. And I'm always excited to have him on the show with me. And so without further ado, everybody, welcome Frank Meister.
I'm not that special now, girl.
You are pretty special. You're pretty special.
What's going on?
How are you?
Well, I thought about watching this debate, and then I started thinking. I got into it with one of my closest friends today over her house, over Democrats and Republicans, and she started screaming and hollering at me, and I said, "That time to go, because you're not going to talk to me like that." Somebody that's almost 25 years younger than me trying to tell me about politics. So no, I'm not doing it. So
yeah, the debate, I will watch the debate when we're done. But
it's on right
I
now.
will definitely watch it.
It's on right now.
Because I want to be informed. I figured when I decided to go ahead and do a live, I was like, boy, you're gonna try and compete with this. That's not gonna go very well. But I just figured people can watch later, whatever. I mean,
Damn, you just got a hell of a donation, Kristen. You just got a $50 donation.
Oh wow! Thank you. Is that from Nana?
Yep, sure is.
Nana, thank you so much. How amazing are you? Thank you. I appreciate it greatly. I appreciate all of you guys. Hey, Lisa, thank you so much for being here. My moderators, I couldn't do my channel without any of you. You guys really have my back, and you know how I like the channel to be ran, and you do such a fantastic job, all of you.
Oh, there's my
And
boss spot right there.
that's including you,
Yep.
Frank Meister.
Jinx the boss mod.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Tech Death, how are you, my dear? Good to see you. Hi, Jill. I hope you're feeling well. Good to have you here. SP74 is in the house. Witchcraft, good to see you. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Olivia, too. Good to see you as well. Hey, Linda. We have Ziggy, 1967. Gibbo, good to see you. 6 homemade toilet toffees for $2. 1 free every 2 confessions. Caution may contain nuts. Okay. Let's see. Nana. Kristen, I can't stay, but wanted to leave my like and show support for you. We appreciate your channel. Oh, I so appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for being here and for saying that. I really do try to keep it real and stick to the bare bones facts of what's going on in this case.
Hey, do me a favor and check your private chat. You're gonna trip.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, wow.
That's what I said earlier.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So there is a prayer walk for Abby and Libby, October 13th at 1:30 p.m. at the 1600 Old Camden Road in Delphi, which is at the Freedom Bridge parking lot. Meet there at 1:30. And you guys that have never gone, if you have the chance to go this time, definitely go. I would be there. I'm really upset that I'm not going to make this one, and because I really wanted to be to this one, especially to support the families before the trial that starts that Monday, the jury selection. But I just want everybody to know, Frank can attest to this, until you get out there and see this crime scene and see where the girls were, how beautiful the scenery is, how peaceful it is, and to know that the vile, horrendous evil that was brought down on those 2 girls that day in that most beautiful, serene place is just unbelievable.
I mean, I do want to throw my 2 cents in on as far as the prayer walk. Like I've said on my show the last couple of nights, we had about 40 to 50 people the last go around. I would like to try to double that if possible. So we like to get the word out everywhere.
Yep.
Because this is a big deal. Even if the trial doesn't even start on time, it's still a big deal.
It is a big deal. Yep. And they, Randy tries to organize and hold 2 of these a year. He's been doing this forever, and I think it means a lot to people who follow the case closely and feel helpless, like there's nothing that they can truly do. This is something you can do. Doesn't really, take a lot of effort to just get out there and do that walk. And like I said, it's you get to meet some really cool people when you do it.
GonZo's in the house.
Oh, hi, GonZo. It's good to see you, my dear. Hey, Cecil, how are you? Good to have you here. Hey, She Warrior. Piper's Dream is with us. Hi, CJK. Good to see you.
I got that information sent to me today, and I said, "You got to be shitting me." So I called Miss Deb and she said, yep.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm
started
just
tripping.
floored by that.
I know it.
I'm floored by that. Hey, Linda, you are so kind to say that. I appreciate you being here. I truly do. Hey, Frankie Christian, how are you? Let's see. Al on the Prowl is with us. Annabelle Higgins is with us. Oh, GonZo, I hope you're doing well, my dear. I miss your face. I'm glad you're in here. Hey, TLS. Hey, John. Welcome. Welcome. John's been a moderator for me since the very beginning. The very beginning. He's one of my old guard. So I appreciate all of you that are tuning in to the show tonight. I realize that, you know, there's a lot going on nationally that people may not be here. So I do appreciate you guys checking us out tonight. I thought it was worthwhile doing a live. I know Frank's been catching you guys up on the document stuff and all the motions, but you know, we had many motions that dropped yesterday, and it was like
repeated ones at that.
For some reason, they like to do these late in the day and just drop them. It's like they keep coming.
It's the same ones over and over. The subpoenas were dropped weeks ago, and she never ruled on them, so she's dropped. They filed them again.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's just funny,
right?
But we got 34 days, you guys, until jury selection. And I know that there's a lot of contention out there on the Delphi streets about whether or not this is going to even happen. We know now when they did this interlocutory appeal that, excuse me, what that means is that they can actually request an appeal while a case is still going on before it has been finalized. And that's what these guys are doing. This doesn't surprise me. I don't think it surprised Frank Meister either.
No. And like I said,
this is what these guys do.
All you got to do is follow the pattern from day one. That's all you got to do. They're doing the same shit they've been doing since day one.
Yeah. No, exactly. And you never know, because what I think is so funny about them is that they act one way, but they do something completely opposite, you know?
And how you like what they put in that filing yesterday. Oh, we're not trying to delay anything.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, come on now.
Exactly.
If you know if it gets to the appellate court, we're going to be sitting.
I was just going to say, if the whole thing is this, with an interlocutory appeal, what everybody doesn't understand, the trial court has to agree to it. So if Gull comes back and says, no, we're not going this route, then it's done. They can't, they're dead in the water. It'll be interesting to see how she reacts to this so close to trial, that they're doing this now.
Right.
Again, you know, nothing that these guys pull surprises me.
They're doing things now that should have been done when she denied this stuff before in the Frank's motion. They should have started prepping for this way before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you know, they've had plenty of time to do this.
And like I said on my live last night, they should have had another backup plan already in place just in case. But they, like I was talking to Marv about this today. They threw all their eggs in one basket thinking it was going to ride, and look at them now.
Hang on, guys. I hate it when my phone goes off when I'm on a live. I apologize.
That's why I put mine on do not disturb.
I'm like, I don't know who it is, so we're declining it. But yeah, I just you know, in my opinion, they have really nowhere to go. They are dead in the water. They know it. You know, when his confessions are all going to be allowed in, they don't really have anywhere that they can go or turn to. Jinx is laughing. I swear it's not me, Kristen. Jinx is not calling me during a live. She wouldn't do that.
She was on my panel last night.
She's a sweetheart. I love her. But yeah, I just I think it's I was reading some stuff yesterday. I was reading some stuff on Reddit. Got me to thinking about the case and in a different way that I hadn't really thought about it. But going back to, and I posted this on a community post, but if you go back to November of 2022, when right after Richard Allen was arrested, when Richard Allen says to Kathy,
"Oh yeah,
if this becomes too much for you, just let me know. I'll talk to the detectives and tell them everything they want to know." I mean,
that ate Rosie's ass when he did that.
I absolutely, but I mean, the question was posed on Reddit, what do you suppose he meant by this? And how do you think Kathy took this statement from him? An innocent man, in my opinion, who has been recently incarcerated for the murder of 2 innocent children, would talk to the police, tell them everything, and want to go home. And he would be screaming his innocence, in my opinion. So why would he not tell the police everything he knows if he was innocent? I mean, why would he have to say something like, if this becomes too much for you, that's when I'll tell them everything I know? And wouldn't Kathy be like, well, what is that supposed to mean? What is it that you know? Especially if she's thinking he's innocent.
I think that she prepped herself while he was in there and learned that all phone calls and all that stuff was recorded, and she knew right off the bat what to do when he did that.
Yeah.
I mean, she played it smart.
I think I definitely feel she's been in denial, and I feel that there's a number of reasons why she probably hung up the phone when he confessed to her. The fact that she couldn't listen to the testimony about the crime scene. I mean, that to me is not that crazy. I don't think that I would have been able to sit there and listen to that myself, simply because of how emotional I get over the Abby and Libby case in any way, because of what happened to them and how I feel close to the family and to them and the loss. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's really difficult. I don't think people understand until you're there, and as you were, when you have poster board sized photographs of the victims and their injuries and crime scene photos blown up into, these massive, huge posters, and then have to listen to testimony about everything that was done to them, how emotional that is and how gut-wrenching that pulls from anybody who has compassion,
I always tell people, you can't know how the family's feeling, but you can try to put yourselves in their shoes and try to experience what they've been through,
Yeah, because you just ask yourself the question, if it was you or if it was your loved one,
right?
how would you want to be, or how would you want it to be handled, and how would you want to be treated, and all of that. And, you know,
Have you ever had the thought of one of your close loved ones dying and you just start crying? I mean,
oh
thinking about them dying, even though there's nothing wrong with them. I've done that many a times, especially my kids or my younger siblings. You know what I mean?
After losing my son, now when anything is weird goes on with a small child or my grandkids, like I freak out. My oldest grandson, who will be 21 in January, he's always like, Grams, he goes, stop worrying about me. You know, I can't. I'm like, I try to tell him, I try to explain to him, but he doesn't understand, you know the mentality. You were male and 20. Nothing's going to happen to you. You know, he's got that same.
I was in the military at that age.
Yeah. And so, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. You just, I try not to bring my crazy on them, but they know that I freak out. And we just had a senior in high school. She was killed over the weekend. She was driving home from work, and a drunk driver was going the wrong way on a 4-way stretch of road in the country. They were on the wrong side of the road and hit her head on.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, when stuff like that happens, it just, ugh.
My my niece, I should say, from my brother that passed away a couple years ago, she got heavily involved with drugs and stuff before my brother passed, and she got put on house arrest and all that stuff. Well, when my brother passed, she got off and turned around. They put her right back on her for another year. So I cut ties with her because I tried to help her as much as I could, you know.
Yeah.
And well, she ended up sending me a friend request today, and I accepted. And she sent me a message that said, "Uncle Shane, I'm doing what you wanted me to do, and I'm getting all my legal matters taken care of." And I said, well, that's good to hear. You just stay on the straight and narrow, and everything will work out just fine.
Yeah.
So.
I know. And we don't understand what the families are thinking and are going through. And it's hard to even fathom it. But I sit and I watch these cases and I follow them, and you watch the gut-wrenching, emotional interviews with the Gonzalez family from the case in Oregon, in Idaho. They just had a change of venue granted. So they're going to be moving that trial out of Moscow, which the families didn't want. They wanted it to be held in Moscow. And the judge decided that he couldn't get a fair trial there because the jury pool is so small, and that they needed to go to a bigger venue, which I get. I totally understand the judge, deciding that. Same thing happened here in Delphi, and I think,
it's not really a change of venue. She basically just changed the venue for the jurors. That was it.
Right. Exactly. They just chose the jury from Allen County,
right?
Which, a bigger county, you get a bigger collection of people,
right,
that may or may not be following the case as closely, since they're not right there. I still find it interesting that they say there's people in Indiana that don't even know about the girls. I still find that just mind-boggling to me, because to me it just seems like such a huge case, and it has gone on for so long that people would know. But yeah, that whole thing about what he said to her and how does it, what does it mean or whatever. We could dissect that for a long time.
Right.
And I know that there have been other podcasters that have talked about it and everything. But I just feel like this guy, in my opinion, has never acted innocent.
No.
From the get-go.
I
not as
mean,
an innocent person would be acting, in my opinion. So,
well, I mean, people don't understand. There is no definition of what a murderer or a killer looks like.
oh no,
You know, so
no, no, exactly. Because like I said, that's what's so scary. People are looking for the monster. They're
did you
looking for the
see?
person who stands out, the person who, and these men, especially who prey on children,
Mhm.
a lot of times they're the people that are the closest to our kids. They're the ones who can reel them in, especially when it's the um, clergy or school teachers,
Right.
or all of these kinds of people in their lives. I've said it before. I said it for a long time that I felt Bridge Guy was living amongst them, that he was probably going to church with them, possibly having coffee across the way with them. I always felt like he would be somebody that you would least suspect, because these people we've talked about that, these, they have these secret lives where they do all
Right.
this stuff online, and view all this child pornography stuff, the CSAM stuff. Um and we don't know. I have to preface that we don't know that that's what was going on here. We still don't know motive, and yet he has given motive. So in these confessions that he's talked to people, he has told why he did this, or what happened and what led to why he did this.
Did you see old Ridgway is being charged with another murder?
Oh, Gary, is he?
Yeah,
No, I
yep.
didn't.
They moved him from the state prison to a county jail because they're getting ready to charge him with another murder.
Wow.
A cold case murder. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, he was prolific. I mean, he was prolific. That man, and you go back and you look at and everything that he was doing, again, he was living that double life.
Mhm.
He was married, he had kids, he was a guy who
And his family never suspected a
never
thing.
suspected a thing, or his coworkers.
Right.
He worked at the same job forever. And so, I mean, again, this guy was out there trolling the streets and killing women like crazy, and no one suspected. And what's sad in that case is that they talked to him and they had him in their sights in the very beginning.
How they ended up catching him? Was it by handwriting
DNA.
sample? I thought it was Who was the handwriting sample?
His
Was it him
his
too?
it was the handwriting, or the what you're thinking of, I think, is BTK,
Okay.
because he wrote a letter. He was
Yep,
big
that's it.
on contacting the newspapers. He wanted all the news. He wanted all the attention, and he contacted them. Well, he wrote a letter on the letterhead from the church,
Right.
on the typewriter, and that's how they got.
it.
Because I remember he asked if they could. He was using a floppy disk drive, and he wanted to know if they could track. Well, they did. They tracked him, and that's how they found him.
Yeah, Mustang said they had Ridgway for years. DNA just wasn't advanced at that time, and there was nothing they can do.
Yeah.
And what's thing about Richard Allen though is, how can you live in a community that small, in a local CVS, knowing what you've done and lived for years like it never happened? I don't get it.
Because you're a psychopath?
It would still eat at me. I'd be having nightmares probably.
These are sociopaths and psychopaths don't think the same way we do. They don't have those same emotions. And I get, that people are think that that's what's so bizarre about this case, is the fact that this man had this kind of a job where he was seeing the public every day
And the families.
and the families and friends of these victims
Yeah.
coming in and out of the CVS.
And knowing that there's a picture of himself right behind him standing there, and it's not phasing him at all. I'm just like, my God, this guy's got nervous steel.
Yeah.
You know. And then the picture in JC's bar, him standing there, and the picture's right behind him. I'm like, oh.
Well, he worked right next to it at the CVS all those years as well. They were, you know, he talked about the case with people he played pool with on a weekly basis. They discussed it in the bar. That was known. That takes a special kind of crazy,
Right?
You know, to be able to be the person that did it and then sit here and, you know, you wonder if he was reliving it, like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, vicariously, like,
right,
in some sick fashion.
We
hey,
did
nicely done.
nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Here you go. She nicely done doesn't know about the run-in we had with one of his best friends from high school.
Yeah.
Hit the Memorial Walk. But
Yeah.
he was jumping our shit there for a second. And his wife's just standing back like, I'm with them.
This person was very close friends, best friends, if you will, in high school with Richard Allen. And they were supposed to go into the military together.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, his whole take was that the Richard Allen he knew could never do something like this. And he was having a really hard time accepting that he had done this and that he was going to need to see real evidence
with his own eyes is basically what
with his own eyes to believe it. And I firmly respected that. And I told him that. I said, I understand how that would be, because if you put yourself in the same position, it would be like you learning your best friend did it. And you'd be like, what? No way. There's no way that my best friend could do this. Hey, Susan.
As I say, our buddies in the chat.
How are you, ma'am? Good to see you, Missy. I hope you're doing well. I'm sure you are, but I hope you are.
I was
hope you recovered from your exciting Bacon Fest weekend.
They had a good old time over at where Tara works, from what I hear.
Yep. That's what I hear too. And I agree with CJK here. I think that Richard Allen really thought that he was free and in the clear. I really think that he kept thinking, you know, they're not going to get me. They don't know.
Well, I mean, I think the manipulation game by Doug Carter is what did it, honestly, back in 2019 with the sketches.
Yeah.
I think that might have had something to do with it. You know, because
I still say that it's going to be interesting to find out when he went into the hospital for his mental illness issues in 2019. Was it before or after the presser? And my feeling is that he, knowing what we know now and looking back on that, it's almost as if Doug Carter was talking directly to him. And I know that he was talking to a profile that the FBI had done, but I feel like that profile was absolutely spot on. Right. I mean, it matches him to a T, and you wouldn't expect anything different. Those guys that do those profiles in the BAU are amazing at what they do, and they're very, very rarely wrong on their profiling.
Well, looks like Susan was on CNN tonight, or Court TV tonight, and I missed it.
I'll have to go back and watch.
Hey, did you tell Vinny what I said? I hope not.
Were you talking, Susan, were you talking about Delphi or something else? I also posted, did you see the video on my community page that I posted for the Delulu, is it the Delulu? Did you see it?
You're talking about Delphi Dummies Delulu or
Yes. Yeah. The
I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Oh my God. It is funny.
Yeah, they were talking about Delphi.
It was the defense Delulus. The Unhinged posted it.
Right.
Oh my God. It's really worth watching. You guys, if you haven't seen it.
He's good at that stuff, man. I love watching it.
I just ran across it and so she was talking about Delphi. Mm-hmm. Susan was talking about Delphi.
Yep.
Oh, I have to watch now.
Who was all on panel? Who was all on panel with Susan? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, Susan, who was on there with you?
Because I'll have to go back. Court TV was a recap of the case. Just you?
Oh, she said it was a recap of the case.
That's what I'm asking. If it was just her. Mike
King was on with her.
Okay,
in the murder sheet. I like Mike King. I really respect him. I would love to have him on my show, Susan. Give him a plug. Tell him I want him on. I'll bring you and him on together. I'm a huge fan of his. I've watched him for a long, long time. I really like him. I just, going back to all the motions and the stuff that has happened and transpired in the last few days, I wasn't surprised by the rulings, and I wasn't at all surprised, like I said, that they are trying to appeal this. But the thing that that is telling to me, and it's all going to hinge on whether or not she allows the interlocutory appeal. If she doesn't allow it, we're going forward. I really firmly believe that. But if she does allow it, then the brakes will be put on and nothing will happen until the appellate court takes it up. And I put in there on my community page, I went over what the interlocutory appeal in Indiana is, and really tried to give people a better understanding, because I know a lot of people don't understand some of this stuff, and it's really hard. One of the things that I was reading this week.
The problem with when you read these laws and stuff like that, a lot of people miss the little fine print that you can't see. It's usually an amendment to a law, and they skip right over it. And it's just like, I've done it many a times.
Yeah.
Many a times. Then I have to go back through again.
Go back and reread it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in some of these bigger, longer documents, right. I think that it's always a good idea to reread them or read them more than once, because I always miss stuff.
I mean, that's what I did last night when I went over the summarized filing. I stop and go back to a certain part of it, and I read it again and get put my 2 cents in on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to bring up, there was a post on a Reddit sub on the Delphi trial Reddit sub about a week and a half ago, and it was about the California appellate decision that was addressing unfired bullet tool mark evidence. And I found this extremely compelling, and I wanted to kind of go over it a little bit. But this poster said that they were digging around and found a California case that discussed the matching of an unfired bullet to a gun. Obviously at issue here, so they wanted to share it. And it was the People versus Perez in 2019. WL2537699 is the case. The case is unpublished, so they couldn't find it outside of Westlaw to link, but these were the bits of information they were able to find. As noted, one of the People's firearms tool mark experts, Teramoto, opined that magazine lip marks on the unfired bullet taken from the shed where Perez was found hiding, the shed bullet matched marks on one of the expended cartridges found in the back seat of Perez's Toyota, the back seat cartridge. Perez contended that the trial court erred by failing to conduct a foundational Kelly hearing to determine whether the magazine lip mark comparison evidence was reliable enough to be admissible. He asserted that this form of tool mark comparison was a new science within the meaning of Kelly. He points out that Teramoto testified that lip mark comparison accounted for only 5 to 10% of his caseload, and Nixon testified such comparisons were very unusual. Perez has failed to show that tool mark analysis involving magazine lip mark comparisons is qualitatively different from other firearms tool mark comparisons, which are not subject to the Kelly test. Both involve the same analysis, matching marks on cartridges or bullets based on impressions left by a firearm component. That magazine lip mark comparisons are less common than other tool mark comparisons does not show this analysis amounts to a new scientific technique. Right. Furthermore, Teramoto showed photographs of the lip mark comparisons, explained the process he used to compare the two, and identified the points of similarity. The procedure he used simply isolated physical characteristics whose appearance could be evaluated by the jury. James Carroll, the assistant crime laboratory director for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, testified that magazine lip mark comparisons were commonplace. And in my opinion, I think that tool mark analysis is going to matter to this jury.
It will. And that's what I was talking about on my live the other night.
Coupled with all the other circumstantial evidence that this case has, it's going to help paint that picture.
And like I was explaining on my show the other night, I said, look, if none of the confessions were allowed in, that would have made Nick's job a little bit harder. The confessions made it a little bit easier because you know that the defense is going to fight the bullet. We already know that in trial. They're going to have their own expert, the whole works. That's just the way it goes. But there's something I want to explain to people who are not really familiar with weapons or handguns or anything like that. Yes, they all look the same, like all 40 caliber Smith & Wessons look the same, but they're not. Every piece is different than another gun. You think they would make them all from the same molder? That's not how it works. Each piece is different, and that's how they can tell the difference between what gun was used and what gun was not used.
Yeah.
All the mechanism parts are different. Everything.
Yeah.
Where is Deb's golden eye? It's too quiet. Damn, it's quiet. I'm going to do the chat too.
Yep. You know,
yes, Brad Holder is a vet, and so is Patrick Westfall. Yeah, Patrick commented on one of my shorts that I did on this new motion yesterday. He commented, he said these damn defense are a bunch of ass hats. I said, yeah. You all right over there, Kristen?
Yeah, I'm just reading. I'm sitting here trying to. They're talking about my husband who was in the Air National Guard for 35 years, and they're talking about the fact that they're not veterans, and if they were called or ordered to active duty, and I'm trying to hold my shit together and not lose it. I mean, he was active duty. Don't get me wrong. He served in many overseas capacity, but
If you go to basic training and you go to AIT school,
I'm here to tell you guys,
you're a
when you
veteran.
give up your life to the military, I don't care if you're active duty or not. You are a veteran and you deserve and should be afforded all of veterans' benefits.
But they're not. That's the problem.
No, they're not. Absolutely. So yeah,
That is the
I was
problem.
just I was trying to keep from, I didn't know what was the conversation, where it was going. So I was reading it and trying to just okay. Yeah, I'm just like, hey, Anthony France.
I don't know anything about. I tried to find out, but I couldn't because I wasn't taking that chance, man. Because we had a social security number, and I could have filed for a DD 214, and I just wasn't taking a chance to get caught doing that. That's fraud. Nope. I could have got a DD 214 for him, but like I said, I wasn't taking that chance.
Yeah. Hold on a second. What is that? Hold on just 1 second, guys. Sorry.
Whatever, Gibbo. No better than that. I'm old. Oh, no, I'm old. Yeah, I'm old. I'm considered old now. Uh-oh. She's over there reading something.
I am.
But like I've been telling everybody else, Kristen, I am not getting my hopes up for a trial in October. That's why I haven't made my plans or arrangements or anything yet.
Well, I think that a lot can still happen. I mean, I know we're only a little over 34 days away, but there's a lot that can happen in that 34-day period. I still say that he could change his plea at any time, and it wouldn't surprise me at all for that to happen.
Right.
Because I really don't see where the defense is going to be able to go and how they're going to be able to refute all of this stuff that's going to be presented and how they're going to attack it. And like you said, it's not like it's like they put all their eggs in one basket, hoping for this.
They automatically assumed that it was going to
get in. And I mean, and I don't think they really, I hate to say this, but I don't think they really understand the law, because the law is really clear that it can't be something you think or something that it may have happened. You have to have evidence of it when you're bringing in third party into a situation like this.
It's almost like they're trying to save face is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't really get it. I mean,
I don't either.
I don't
But
understand.
hey, listen, I'm going to cut it short tonight because I didn't get very much sleep last night.
Absolutely, totally, and absolutely understand. I'm not going to be here much longer either because I have got so much going on.
Oh, but by the way, you better tell them that you got a new vehicle.
Yeah.
I've been hounding about that for the last few days.
That's one of the things I'm trying to do right now because, I'm like trying to get that stuff all squared away because I'm supposed to pick it up on Friday and we're still haggling with the bank, and my head is just about to explode.
So did the insurance pay your other one off, or?
Yes.
Well, good. That's good. But, until next time, Kristen, thanks for having me up. Everybody
Thank you so much, Frank Meister. Have a great evening. It was good to see
everybody. Love you. Talk to you guys later.
Bye. So, guys, I'm not going to, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I just wanted to, come on and talk a little bit about that, talk about the interlocutory appeal, and, the fact that could, depending on how she rules, that could delay everything. So I think that there's an absolute chance that she's not going to go for it. I really will be surprised if she does. And if she grants it. That's just me. But anything's possible, and we just need to know that. And I know, like I said, I still believe that there's a possibility that he could change his plea in the midst of all of this, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. I also believe that it's very possible that he's going to take his chance with the jury, because we talked about it. They only need to have one person, just one, and so yeah, crazy as it is. But anyway, I am so glad that you guys all decided to join me tonight. I'm glad Susan was here. I'm going to have to check about getting Mike and her on. I love him and am a huge fan, and I would love to have them on to talk about this case. And I agree with you, CJK, that we need no more delays and that this needs to go to trial. But unfortunately, what we think and what really happens in the judicial system isn't always what we want it to be. And sometimes these cases can drag on and drag on. And the defense has the ability to try to keep that. And I think what is infuriating to most people is that this is how the justice system works. And it's meant to do that and give that defendant every opportunity that they may need to put forth a defense, and to get their ducks in a row, or so to speak. Even though the defense doesn't have to prove anything, they don't have to prove anything. It's up to the state to do the proving. But juries like to hear a defense. They like to hear what he was doing. We don't have a good alibi that's been put forth for what Richard Allen's alibi would be if he was not the person who abducted the girls off the bridge. I firmly believe he's bridge guy. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. And, the defense is the defense. That's, we all are afforded that by the Constitution. We need a defense. And these guys there's something else. I'm telling you what, it's hard sometimes. It's hard to stand by and watch what's happening. And if it's hard for us, you can only imagine how hard it is for Abby and Libby's family. So guys, I hope you have a great rest of your night. And I hope that that you all will go watch the debate. Make sure that you guys pay attention. It's important for our country. And also, I want to give a shout out again to all of my moderators. I absolutely could not do this channel without you. And you guys mean the world to me. You really absolutely do. For those of you who've been emailing and asking me, yes, I put dreads in my hair. And that I did not do it to my own hair. I actually had them, my hair is braided into them. So I absolutely love my hair now. I liked it before, but I really, really love my hair. I have tons of braids and I just really like it. I have some really fun stuff in here. I think Tech Death noticed the other day. I have a couple witchy things in here. I have a Celtic knot in here. And so, yeah, it's something that I always wanted to do. And I was like, I'm not getting any younger, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so, yeah. And my spiders are doing fine. For everybody who has been asking, I had a lot of people asking me that. They're all doing really, really well. And I have a new tree frog. I haven't named him yet. He's adorable. He's so cute. And so, yeah, between that and Loki, my new baby, for those of you that don't know, I have a 9-month-old Siberian Husky mix. I did do his DNA, and he is Siberian Husky. He's 68% Siberian Husky and 24% Labrador Retriever. And then he's got American Staffordshire Terrier. I think he's got like 4%, and then 2% of some other dog. And I can't think of, hold on a second, I'll tell you what it is. Alapaha Blue Blood Bulldog. I don't have a clue what that is, but I don't know what that dog is. But it's a bulldog. They're muscular, and they supposedly they come from down south, the southern part of the United States, specifically in Georgia. So those of you in Georgia may know that particular breed, but I've never heard of them before. But yeah, he's considered a Siberian Husky by his DNA. And he has been an absolute joy. I mean, I've had him, I got him on the 16th of August is when I got him. And we have been bonding. I've been taking him everywhere with me. We go to stores together. We go shopping together. There's a ton of stores out there where you can take your dog. I love Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx. All of those are shop-friendly stores. And so you can actually take your dogs in there. I take him to Home Depot and Lowe's, and we just walk. But anyway, I just love him. He has stolen my heart. And, but yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time with him. We are in 2 different dog walks this month, one for stopping suicide among veterans and one for the American Cancer Society. One of my very best friends was just diagnosed with breast cancer last month, and she's having surgery next month. And so I felt like I needed to do something. So Loki and I are walking a 30-mile walk this month for that, and then for the suicide prevention for veterans. And so far, since I've had him, we've walked over 60 miles together. So I've been spending a lot of time offline, away from my computer, away from my phone. For those of you who've been trying to find me and get me, whatever, even my new channel, because I did start another channel. Jinx just dropped it in the comment section. It's the Twisted Hippie. Please check it out. I promise you I'm going to have new content. It's just that things have been so crazy. I hit a deer 2 days after I got Loki, totaled my Jeep. So I've been trying to get a new car, and it's just been one thing after another. So anyway, it's just been funny. But yeah, in regards to my dreads, the girl who does them makes her own. She makes her own. So I got them from her. And she has a great little shop here. And yeah. And she does the braids. She does the dreads and she does the braids as well. And then she sells all of the little charms and accoutrement things that you can put on them. But I have had a lot of compliments on my hair since I did it. So some people like it, some people don't, but I love it. Oh yes, I hit a deer. I certainly did. I've been driving that road for 30 years and I know there's deer there and I've never hit one. And this guy just, I don't know if it was a doe. I think it was a large doe. I really do. But it jumped right in front of me. I mean, I had no time to react. It was very scary. So, anyway, thanks guys for being here. Yeah, these I love because like I said, it's not my hair is braided into them, but my hair is not dreaded. So I can just take my hair out, take these out, which I will do. I think once every 3 months, I have to take them completely out and then move them. So yes, I'm glad I'm okay as well. Loki was with me. He was in the front seat on next to me, and man, it was spooky. And I'm like, this poor dog, he probably thinks that what lady adopted me, takes me out and gets me hit by a deer in the car. But I've been taking him with me and he seems to be okay. He doesn't seem to be fearful. I don't think I've traumatized him too badly. But that's the update, guys. I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody stay safe. Take care. Justice for Abby and Libby. Among everything, that is what we are, the long term is. So no matter what happens, justice is still coming. Sometimes justice moves slowly and not as swiftly as we want it, but it's coming. Again, thank you all for being here. Nana, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. How awesome was that? Please make sure that you subscribe and hit the like button on your way out. It really does help my channel and it helps the algorithm and gets me out there on the YouTube streets. So yeah, thanks guys. Good night, everybody.